Hey Credit Warriors, Credit Shifu here, and today this is going to be a bit of a fun video. We are going to go through some of my credit card categories that I sort of bunch credit cards into. Now, this is different to my 5-tier credit card tier system where we say, tier 1 at this credit score, tier 2, if you got this credit score, you should be able to apply for it, etc., kind of climbing the credit card ladder. This is just different types of credit cards that are out there that I have observed and how to understand them, and also how it can sort of affect your overall strategy with collecting credit card points and miles. Okay, so let's get started. So number one, we have the Credit Builder card. Okay, so these cards would include cards such as the Capital One Platinum, which really they have no sort of utility in terms of earning any kind of rewards other than they just help you to build your credit. Oh, the Capital One Platinum also has no foreign transaction fees, which is always a bonus. There are other cards in this category though. Discover It to a certain extent could be in this category as well, even though it has rewards, but it has been quite good for building credit. They do target people who have just started out on their road of getting credit cards. Then you also have lesser cards in this, or what we call fee harvester cards. There are several companies doing those. Watch out for those. I don't recommend applying for them. I'm not going to name any of the companies here, but anyway, just steer clear of what we call fee harvester. Go with the big well-known names, okay, like Capital One or whatever in this category. In fact, the Capital One Platinum is my recommended card for credit building. Okay, let's move on to our next category. Next, we have rotating category cards, okay? So the two big ones in this category, I would say, would be the Chase Freedom and the Discover It card. There's another one we're going to talk about in a second, but first of all, we'll just look at the Chase Freedom and the Discover It. What these cards do is that they have 5% cash back in rotating quarterly categories. So different categories each quarter, like one quarter it might be grocery stores, the next quarter it might be restaurants, the next quarter it might be gas stations, etc. And you can basically earn 5% on up to $1,500 worth of spending. So if you do the math, that's $75 cash back up for grabs each quarter. So that's $300 a year on top of what you'd earn on other purchases that you get 1% on. So yeah, basically that's what these cards do. There's another card, which is the US Bank Cash Plus card, that actually earns 5% on two categories that you actually choose from a list. They do change each quarter, but you can choose which one out of a few of them. And it's on $2,000 worth of spending. And in addition to the 5% on $2,000 worth of spending in those categories, you also get 2% on an everyday category, such as supermarkets or gas, which also changes. I'll just put on screen a kind of example of how it works. So that's another like lesser known card. US Bank, not so big on the East Coast, but I believe in the middle of the country they are a really very big bank that a lot of people are familiar with. But yeah, that's another example of a rotating quarterly category card. And basically these cards are really great for people with low spending, okay? Because you can actually earn quite a lot of cash back, or in the case of the Chase Freedom, it's convertible into Chase points if you have another Chase card like the Sapphire. So you can earn quite a lot of cash back or points this way, just by being really diligent and actually maxing out these categories. Sometimes it requires a little bit of research. You have to remember to sign up for the categories each quarter, and then you have to look at where you can spend. You might need to go out of your way to go to a certain store instead of where you normally go, just to max out the category. But it is great if you have low spending. Once your spending is a bit higher, for kind of like richer people, I guess you would say, it's not so lucrative because you feel like, well, I've got quite big spending on some other cards. To go kind of out of my way to go and do this, you don't pay as much attention to it. So I put way less spending now on my Chase Freedom than I did back 3 years ago when I first got it, when I was still on quite a low income. Next up, we have the Workhorse Card. And what I mean by this is basically your most used card. And there's several reasons why it could be most used. It could be most used because it has a category that's kind of like, where you do a lot of spending in it. For some people, it could be supermarkets. Some people, it could be travel. Depends, what your lifestyle is like. And it also needs to earn points in a desirable points currency for you, okay? That's another criteria of the Workhorse Card, okay? So even if there is no bonus category for a certain amount of spending that you want to do, you may still actually use this card just because it's earning the points that you want, and you want to top up your points balance a little bit in that desirable points currency. So for me, currently the Amex Gold is my like Workhorse Card. I use it, a lot for supermarkets and restaurant spending, okay? Because those are two big categories for me. But then even if I'm not in a supermarket, I may still whip out the Amex Gold because I just want to top up on MR points, you know, even if I'm just earning 1%, okay? I might do that. And in the past, the Sapphire Reserve has been a really good workhorse card for me because travel and dining are two huge categories that I spend in, you know, almost every day. And likewise, Chase UR points are also one of my desirable points currencies, okay? So the two main ones I do are Amex membership rewards and Chase UR. Next up, we have the sock drawer card, okay? And this is kind of a funny name, but basically what this card is any card that has a benefit that outweighs its annual fee. And the most frequent type of card we see this with is hotel cards, okay? Basically, hotel cards that offer a free night, which is higher in value than the annual fee every year, okay? So examples of these would be the Marriott Bonvoy card, okay, that offers a free night at a property worth up to 35,000 points, and the annual fee is around $100, okay, like $95, I believe it is. And you know, you could use it to stay in a hotel. You could use your free night in a hotel that probably costs up to about $200, okay. I stayed at the Marriott in Kensington in London, 35,000 points a night, and I used my free night certificate. I believe the price was, you know, somewhere around $200, so definitely $100 up. Then you also have the Hyatt card from Chase. That has a free night as well, which you can use to stay at some very nice hotels, which would definitely outweigh the annual fee, could be up to double the annual fee. So basically that's the idea. And with these cards, the reason we call them a sock drawer card is because you could just put them in your sock drawer and just forget about them and then just use the free night certificate each year, and you're basically getting like a half price hotel, okay, because you're paying the annual fee, then you're getting like double that back through the type of hotel you could book with the free night. Obviously, it is only worth it if you actually would need to stay in a hotel. If you never need to stay in a hotel, so it wouldn't really benefit you that you got a hotel free night and you're just doing it for the experience or whatever, then you're not really earning money from this little scheme, okay? So there's no point in doing it. But if you actually have a need to stay in hotels, then, you know, it's a great way. And just because it's one night doesn't mean you only have to stay in the hotel for one night. It could be that you're going on vacation and you do a combination of, you know, paid with cash, a free night certificate, maybe another night that you pay for with points. You don't have to just stay in the hotel one night, okay? Just remember that, because some people have commented like, who would want to stay in a hotel for just one night, you know? Be quiet. Anyway, let's move on to the next category. Now we have the Suburban Dad Card, okay? Now this is a category, I might have made it up, or it might have been something that someone commented and I just adopted it, you know, in the comments on one of my videos. But anyway, Suburban Dad Card, basically it means a card with bonus categories on things that a suburban dad or a suburban mum, I'm just saying suburban dad because I'm a dad. I mean, obviously if you were female, you would say suburban mum. Anyway, so yeah, the Suburban Dad Card, and so categories, think categories like supermarkets and gas, okay? Because what do dads do, right? Suburban dads, they drive their kids around in some big gas guzzling like Chevy Tahoe or Chevy Suburban, and they're gonna probably go to supermarkets and spend a lot of money in supermarkets because they got a big family and they need to buy food for their like 3 kids and the dog and, you know, wife and, you know, whatever, and all that kind of stuff. So basically cards that have good bonus categories for this kind of lifestyle, okay? And the Hilton Honors Ascend is one of them. It gets bonus category for supermarkets and gas stations. Then you've also got the Amex Everyday Preferred, which also has a bonus category on supermarkets and gas stations. Next up, we have the benefits card, okay? It's your friend with benefits. And this refers to a card that basically the reason you have it is principally because it gives you some kind of benefit. Most frequently we see is airport lounge access, but it could also be hotel like gold status or diamond status or car rental agency status or anything else along those lines, all right? So let's look at a few examples. So the Amex Platinum, that's the most obvious example of it. With the Amex Platinum, you obviously get access to Centurion lounges, Priority Pass, several other lounges, Plaza Premium, etc., which are very good as well. You also get Hilton Gold and Marriott Gold status with the card, so you get a lot of benefits from it. So some people may have this card just because they get those benefits and they might not really use it. Then let's have a look at some others. Chase Sapphire Reserve, obviously that gives the Priority Pass. It also gives you national car rental status. Then we have the City Prestige, that gives Priority Pass. It also gives the 4th night free benefit in hotels. So you might not really use the card that much, but when you go on vacation, if you're staying 4 nights, you might use this benefit to get a free hotel room. You can get a lot of value out of the card that way. You know, if you stay at a hotel that's like $800 a night or something, you know, fourth night free. You're up $800. Then also the American Airlines Advantage Executive Platinum from Citi. That card gives you Admirals Club access, so you may not really use the card very much except for American Airlines tickets and using the Admirals Club access that comes with it. So, in the past, a lot of these cards, like for example the Amex Platinum, you used to earn just 1x on everything, okay? So a lot of these cards didn't have that good earning categories, but there has been a bit of a change coming from last year into this year, a bit of a trend. Amex Platinum, since like a year ago, it has the 5x on air tickets. The Citi Prestige with the revamp that it just had, it's now 5x on dining and air travel. So they're kind of changing things with these cards to, I think it's the Sapphire Reserve that came into this sector and sort of shook everything up, and the others are all reacting to it. But basically these cards used to be that you probably wouldn't use it that much and you just get the benefits of it. Now, you might not use it as much as other cards, but they are getting bonus categories on these cards, which are giving you reasons to use them more. But I still classify these as benefits cards. And last up, we have our non-category spend card, okay? So this basically means that it is a card that you use when there isn't really a bonus on any of your other cards for a certain category of spending. Other cards would just earn like 1% or whatever. And good examples of these would be the Freedom Unlimited, which is 1.5% or 1.5 chase points on everything, depending how you use that cashback / points. Then you've got the Citi Double Cash, which is 2% cashback on everything. You've also got the Amex Blue Business Preferred card, which is actually 2x MR points on everything up to $50,000 in spending a year. So that would be a great option if you have a business, if you want a business credit card. A lot of people criticize me for using my Amex Gold to pay my taxes through plastic. I should have used the business preferred. Personally, I didn't, I couldn't really apply for an extra card just for that, because I didn't want to, hurt my credit score or anything. I'm thinking of applying for a mortgage soon, but I will remember that for next year. That is a good tip, okay? So basically, yeah, it's a non-category. So this is the card that you whip out when there's no bonus category and you're like, okay, I can earn extra points on this one. Now, there is some overlap with the Workhorse Card because sometimes you might just be like, well, instead of cashback, I prefer to just earn my preferred points currency. So even if you have got the Citi Double Cash, you might still just want Amex points. So you might just go with the Gold Card or the Chase points with the Sapphire Reserve. But it is there anyway. And obviously the Freedom Unlimited can make up part of the Chase trifecta or quadrifecta, depending on how you use it. So basically, yeah, non-category spend card. Everyone should have at least one in their wallet. All right, guys. So that is my 7 credit card categories. And obviously these categories can change. Some of the cards could actually switch categories depending on what else you have in your wallet and how you use them and stuff like that. So it's not something set in stone, but it's just a little bit of a system to understand what different types of cards are out there and how you can utilize them together to have your whole, credit card points and miles strategy set up, all right? Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that, and you can leave some of your own made-up categories in the comments below. Just feel free to joke around, make up some funny ones. As always, we will put links to some of the best credit cards on the market now, the best deals out there, in the description section below. If you want to have a look at them, feel free to browse. Obviously, it is an affiliate link, helps out the show. We will put the advertiser disclosure at the bottom of the description section as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.